Oh, there we go.
Okay, we need to. You have to
Hey everyone.
Straighten the chair up.
Hey. How are you all doing today?
Straight like this, because otherwise I can't fit.
Okay. Hey guys. Hey everyone.
Oh my God.
You say hi? You can see already.
Okay, now I'm just trying to find my position. My glasses are crooked.
How is everyone doing? Jenshiro, hey. Ooh, hello girl. How are you doing today? How is everyone doing? I really appreciate this support. I'm right here, Manuel Juma. I'm right here, girl. I am right here. Thank you so very much, Chinese Kiki. Really appreciate you being here. I really do appreciate all of you. Thank you so very much, guys. How is everyone doing? Habari zenyu? Happy Friday. You say hi? Last time you said you called Nelly too. So today we call you Nelly too still? Or you have a new name today?
Let's call me Bob.
Okay, we'll call you Bob. Chinese says, hi Anita, how is everyone doing today? I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so very much for joining me. Before we start, you can please do me a favor and share this stream with your community, your friends on Instagram, on Facebook, on WhatsApp. You know, tell a friend to come and join us today. And I hope that we are going to have some fun today. Hey, Grace Manasseh. Anita says, hey, Kiki. Miss Kenny says, happy Friday. Let me just see your comments. Kiki is calling for Zamu and Grace. Hey, Zamu. Hey, Grace. Kiki, unasalimiwa sana. I'm great. I hope you too are. Yes, darling, we are doing amazing. Thank you so very much for being here today and coming to support our content, our channel. As you guys know, I'm really looking forward to having like some hours, which is like 4,000 hours. So if you are watching, the best way to support me right now, like he is doing right now, is to share this stream with your friends, anyone that you know would benefit from this. And I really so much appreciate that from all of you guys. So today, as you guys have seen, it's the longest I think we put a premiere out. Because we were supposed to do it and then we postponed it to this week. And the reason why I did so is because I felt like this week was closer to Mother's Day in Finland. And I know, of course, many other places you guys have celebrated Mother's Day. I hope you guys can hear me, right? Can you guys hear it? Kiki, you have a lot of love from people right here and a lot of love coming to us as well. We really appreciate everyone watching today. Really do appreciate it. So the reason why we did the stream today is because I felt like it was closer to Mother's Day. Oh, well, that's nice. Okay. I felt like it was closer to Mother's Day. I know some parts of the world have celebrated already Mother's Day, but here in Finland, we still have not yet celebrated Mother's Day. Yeah. So it's just coming up.
In May, I think.
Yeah, it's May.
Okay.
So I felt like the best way to start this like preparation towards getting to Mother's Day would of course be to share the very journey that brought us to be having the title Mom, you know, and that is our labor and delivery. So if you guys have any questions whatsoever, we are right here to answer them. And if there are any moms out watching right now who want to also come and join and share their story, we are just here to, like, you know what, remember those days when it was like painful and the baby was coming and we're also excited and it's kind of like a mixed reaction and all of that good stuff, right? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, so for to just remember those days that we were in pain and they're trying to bring this child into this world, and having your bundle of joy, and it's just a mixed reaction. So today I thought, like, you know what, it's not only a mom's job to give birth, it's both people, right? Like you and me, we're both giving birth.
Basically.
But I'm the one, I'm the one pushing the baby out. Kiki, before we continue, thank you so much for doing that for me. I really, really, really do appreciate you. Really do appreciate you. Kiki always supporting others. That's true. That's what we all should be like. I think she always tries to lead by example, and I really, really do appreciate that. Anita says, such a wonderful soul. Yes, she is. And I usually say, like, count your roses while you still can smell them. And you guys, your support is my roses in this journey, and I really, really do appreciate that, like, so very much. Bina Aisha, hey, how are you doing? Yeah, so where do you start from? Do you guys want us to start from like conception, because that was like a boom 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 kind of job, or what? Like, where should we start from?
Well, pregnant? I don't know.
Should we start from conception, or like just go straight ahead to
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a very interesting conception. I mean, it's
later, let's come here. I come online class imenipele cambio. Wow, okay. Just got a break and can't keep calm. Junona notification. Oh, thank you so much, Tekla. Thank you so very much. We just actually started, and yeah, so you're not that late. You are just on time. So yeah, I wanted to know, like, are you guys like moms, or is it like there's some people who are still not yet on the motherhood kind of category, or like what's up? Like, can I know, so I know like where I need to start from? Aisha is right here saying, I'm good, girl. Thank you so very much for coming. Really do appreciate this. So if you guys would want to join the stream, I'll just post in here. Did I paste it? Okay, I think I did not. Let me just get something ready here to see if.
No, it's command.
Okay. Let's just see if we can get this. It's not doing what?
Do you use command? Command?
Yeah.
Apple has to be so extra special about everything. There it is.
Okay. Oh, thank you. I think your hands are just special. Yeah, so here is the stream. For anyone who'd love to, yeah, there it is. For anyone who'd love to join, you can join us through that. And yeah, so yeah, let's start. I don't know where you guys we should start from. Like, should we start from labor and delivery, mom of a 6-year-old? Wow, that's nice. Oh wow, how was your journey, girl? How was it? So I think for us, like, conception was the easiest part. Conception was the easiest part. That was just like, ooh. And we had a baby, like we were pregnant. So conception was the easiest. But I must say, like, before we had our first 2 children, we went through 2 miscarriages. Yeah, so we went through 2 miscarriages, and then the 3rd pregnancy is when we got like, and now Matthew. And I wanted to start specifically from Matthew because if you guys know, I was a single mom before, and then I met my husband, and then we had the last 2 children, which is why now we're doing this together, because the first pregnancy I was by myself, and then the last 2 pregnancies we were together. proud mom of 4 beautiful souls. Oh wow, that's so beautiful, so very beautiful. Miss Kenny, I believe it was like God's plan, I would say. I know it was such a painful experience to go through. And yeah, for me, it's like they still are in my heart, if that makes sense. Yeah, they still are in my heart, but they are not just here. So we went through, we're here to support you. Oh, thank you so much, Tekla. Hope sijachelewa. Know how hujachelewa hata kidogo. We're here to support your channel. Thank you so very much. So before we conceived Matthew, we had 2 miscarriages, and the first one was around 4.
I think they're all the same, roughly the same timing, wasn't it? Was that anyway, the first trimester. So, and then we were advised to
just towards the end of the first trimester.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So just towards the end of the first trimester is always like 3 months.
Well, 3 months.
The first 3 months, yeah. God has a reason for everything. Sending love and hugs. Thank you so much. Rugia Kiki ipewe spana. Yes, ispana lazima nitajua kupeana. Itakuja Daisy, ngoja tu. Ispana inakaa unaichukua kwa Kiki. Unaichukua kwa Kiki. Oh wow, Faith, thank you so much for coming. Thank you. Kiki, thank you so very much. Like, thank you so very much. I can see the numbers going up. 47 amazing people in the building. I really do appreciate all of you guys, like all of you guys, from Kinapendo, Daisy Rioba, Janet Kimani, Manuela, Tiffany Merinzilu. Thank you so very much. Legacy, thank you so very much. Thank you guys. 54. Wow. Oh God. Thank you so much. Like, thank you. So yeah, so the beginning was rough because after the first 3 months, we lost the first baby, and then we waited before we tried again, and then we tried again. And of course, like I said, getting pregnant was the easiest. Keeping the pregnancy in was the bad, was the hassle. Richie says, hey, I love you, Nelly, and the way Kiki is supporting you. I love all of us supporting each other. Thank you so very much. And Kiki, again, my heart is just beyond thankful. Like, I'm so appreciative of all of this. Thank you so very much. Number 3, Anakuza. Hey, Shiko. Girl, no, I think my time is done for giving, but it might. Can we just try for a girl? Would we try for a girl?
Well,
no, I think right now I don't know. I still feel like I need to have a daughter in my house. Why are you laughing? Like, seriously. I feel like we need to have a girl in our house.
Well, now you know how I felt in my house, because I was outnumbered too by the other way around. Gender balance was in the other direction. So it's kind of I'm being refreshed. Balance.
No, I feel like in our case, I'm outnumbered. Like, clearly, I'm seriously really outnumbered. Like, it's not that fun. So we need
it's good because the clothes fit everybody. Pass them down.
No, seriously, guys. I think wait before we continue. I think we need to, but who's going to carry the pregnancy? That's the problem, because me is not getting pregnant. You know, I'm trying to get this body all sleek and fly for summer. But we need to try and talk about a girl. I still don't have kids, but I respect all moms all over the world. Carrying a child and birth is not an easy job. You guys deserve so much more, so much love and more. Oh, thank you so very much. Aki 83 Kiki. Wow. What? Wow, Kiki. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Thank you. Kiki, thank you so much. Like, really do appreciate this. Like, I appreciate it. Like, let's help me in that water. Yeah. Thank you so much. Diki, you're so sweet. God bless you, and may your cup always overflow. You always support wholeheartedly.
Okay. Well,
that's Adrian back home. Copy and paste the link. Let's invite people to Fike. Yeah. I really do appreciate this. Copy, like, and invite at least 5 people to Fike 200. She screams, oh, guys. I really do appreciate. I'm so appreciative. Like, I think it's beyond like what my words can say, but I am so. I'm just like out of words. Kiki, I love you. And thank you so much. Thank you so very much. So, thank you so much. Like, I think there are times you do things and then you always tell yourself, like, who's got my back? And today I'm just like, you all are here. Listen, guys, I'm such an emotional, like, person, but nawapenda nawapenda sana. Okay, tuendelee na historia delivery. Nawapenda sana. Like, I really just do appreciate you guys, and Kiki, bless you abundantly, and everyone else who's also watching. Bless you guys. Kiki made me know about you, sisters. Keep indeed, yeah, very true. Usiharibu makeup iko tu sawa. It's okay. Thank you so very much, guys. Like, I really just do appreciate you guys so very much. Okay. Okay. So yeah, so before we had Matthew's pregnancy, we had 2 miscarriages, and both of them were at about 3 months each. And I think for us, for me especially, it tore me apart because it took me back to asking myself if I really wanted to continue with the journey. My story, maybe one day I'll get to share with all of you. But I love you too. I love you too, Gunther. So it kind of brought me to questioning, like, if I ever wanted to continue, like, try and have other children, or if I just wanted to have that. You're going back outside? What? Okay, love you. Have fun. Bye-bye. So it really got me to asking myself if I really wanted to continue and have, like, Wow, okay. If I really wanted to continue and have more babies, or if I was just going to, in this world, you only support those who support you, Kiki, for life. She's a nice lady. Thanks, Doc. Thanks, Doc. Thanks, Doc. Thank you so very much. Let's subscribe. Afike 2K Ata. Let's go Spanagan. Wow. Akinawapenda, asanteni sana sana sana. Like so much. So yeah, so after the 2 miscarriages, then of course after healing, we decided to try again, and this time round we had oh, thank you so much, Tiffany. This time round we had like some ideas on what we could have been doing wrong or what was not working for us and stuff like that. So the main problem why we suspected, or what the doctors told us was the problem, was that I was having iron deficiency? Folic acid deficiency. Is it deficiency or deficiency? Deficiency. So I was having folic acid deficiency. And so by the time, how old is the baby? Nearly. Kiki, we now are talking about the kids we have we have already. I'm just sharing words I did because I felt like if I share, it would help another woman, because there are many other things that happened like along our pregnancy to delivery, and I felt like it's something no woman deserves to go like to near death experience to be able to carry their child. It's not okay. But some people do go through that, and mimi nafuata Kiki. Kiki ndoyo wako. You're still speaking this baby into existence. Mimi nilimwita baby cucumber, anakuja. Anakuja. Kwa mwanamke ni gharama sana. Ni gharama but inalipisha saa zingine. So then we decided to give it another try.
Well, yeah, I think the important thing there is to takeaway is to make sure your nutrition is good, basically. So we started taking, or Nelly started taking the Well Woman? The British brand, which is available in Canada. Well Woman supplement. They have one for pregnancy. So, and it seemed to do the trick then. It was when finally Matthew came along, then obviously it was successful. So that's a critical area. I think also get maybe, because anemia is another problematic area. So iron deficiency. So it's worth getting checked in early pregnancy for and even before, if you're planning to get pregnant, I would say you check your get checked for anemia, for example.
And I felt like anemia is something that I've struggled with, especially during
you were anemic.
During Matthew's. So we then decided to start Well Woman supplements, and I started supplementing before getting pregnant. And then we're not even trying, right? Guys, I told you guys, like, getting pregnant is never a problem in this house. It's the easiest task we know how to do best, but we try and keep the numbers,
the numbers down.
We try and keep the numbers down. So getting pregnant is not the problem. The problem is just keeping the cookie. No, not the cookie. No, not the cookie. The bun in the oven. The main problem was always keeping the bun in the oven. So during the first 2, there was the anemia problem. I was very anemic, and then the 3rd pregnancy, I was also anemic, but this time around I was on a heavy dose of folic acid and iron. So we're buying the Well Woman, and we're also like supplementing with the iron that the hospitals, the syrup that you drink, if you guys know. Alafu kitaka samosas pia Tony anauza pia. Oh wow, okay. Nyinyi mko na bahati. Tony, si unaweza tuma hadi Finland utushipie huko. Cookies ni mingi. Hadi hivi nataka dambuta za Tony. Do you know dambuta? It's samosas.
Oh, samosas.
Yeah, you can say dambuta.
Dambuta.
Say dambuta.
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 See, so you're not saying properly. Dambuta.
Dambuta.
No, you're saying that. No, you're not saying properly. Yeah, so so then we decided to try the third time, and the third time is when now we had the pregnancy for Matthew.
Mm-hmm.
And Matthew's pregnancy was easy. Was it? I was only eating cakes and bananas.
But
I was so big.
Were you having morning sickness?
Yeah, I was having morning sickness. I loved being next to Sankara or within Sankara, somewhere around there. And I loved this Nyamachoma place on Wayaki Way.
Yeah.
Nchugunas. Do you guys know it? Does anyone know that place? It's in Nchugunas.
It's right there. Can't miss it.
Tony chukua orders. Unaona venye uko na orders mob. Tabla ni nini aki kweli. I'm just experiencing miscarriage right now. Oh wow. I'm really sorry for you.
Oh, okay.
And I hope that you heal out of your experience. It's not an easy experience for a woman to go through, and not an easy experience also for a family to go through, because when you conceive, you're always ready to have your child, and you're prepared and excited. And when it all comes to an end, it's the most heartbreaking thing that can ever happen to anyone, I think. So,
but, I mean, it's not totally uncommon though. I saw some statistics on it, and I don't remember exactly what the percentage was of pregnancies. But I mean, it's not it's not a rare thing, basically, miscarriage. But
it's it can happen. Sad, because
I'm just saying, I mean, someone shouldn't necessarily feel that they're being sort of dumped on. You know what I mean? I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's if there's any comfort out of putting it that way, but so it's not like it's not a totally uncommon thing, unfortunately, which is
I still say it's a painful thing to go through.
Of course,
because like for me as a mom, these are things that I still think about, and I know the days when I know these are the days that I was pregnant, these are the days I could have given birth, these are the days I could have seen my babies. But mostly, I think for me, what helped my journey was I started following this page on Facebook called As I Lay Me Down, and it's basically like just different mothers learning how to live with their loss and just rebuilding their lifestyle from miscarriage. So if it's something that would interest you, I found there a community that I would say I felt like their stories related to what I was feeling. Guntani Abuju. So mwenye anaweza pita naye anaweza enda na yeye. So for me, As I Lay Me Down, okay, this is what I'm saying. Kiki has a pregnancy, and I'm saying, let's name it Baby Cucumber, because she is not, but we are. People do believe. So I think it's just speaking the baby into existence. So just if you know your cards are numbered. Sorry, guys. So As I Lay Me Down was a platform that I learned how to deal with my grief. And for me, it was also a platform that I saw stories I could easily relate to. So that is why I'm saying, if you are going through a miscarriage or a loss right now, it's one of the places you can always check onto. And also, if you have a partner, also remember them in your grieving time for your lost baby, because they also do matter. Like, they're also grieving. And in most cases, like for me, for example, I the first time I felt like we didn't share the same pain, but then got to realize that actually he was also paining, but he was paining also for me too. So he was trying to show his strength, um, instead of showing me the grief in himself at that particular time. But yeah, it's also important to remember your partner as you go through this, and just walk out of it together. And healing does come, but of course it comes in a different time when you're totally healed. And for me, I usually say the only hope I do have is, and I used to hold on to, was the fact that maybe another child was, it was still like Matthew in process coming,
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what I believe in a way, because I mean, it depends how you think about these things. Because if you basic point, I mean, if you conceptualize it as like the body and spirit are two separate things, then the spirit can just get, if you like, delayed in arriving. So it just comes another body. I don't know. That's one way to think about it. I mean, that's what helped me sort of, get me through it. Is the idea that yeah, maybe that's how it works. Or so, yes, if that makes any sense.
So just if you can, and also if you can find like people who are going through the same process, and you can share with them your story, and they're able to also help you out in that manner.
Yeah.
I think if that makes sense. But yeah, so going back to where we were, and again, I'm really sorry for your loss. So after getting pregnant for Matthew, then came the appetite, the mood swings, the tantrums. Then came the cravings, which I only loved, like cakes. There's this cake, a specific cake place I used to go to. And it was only their cakes I would want to eat, whether it was a weekend or during the week or whatever, until they knew both me and my husband. And like they'll try, and if they've not made, they will try and keep like these crepes, for us. So I'll always just go and find them packed as I wait for the bake of the day to like for them to bake. And I loved Jugunas so much. Like that Nyama Chama place joint next to on Wayakiwe was just my favorite. Yeah, that was so beautiful. And then came the time for delivery, and that was like the hardest now, where because Matthew was very big.
Oh yeah, Matthew was really, he was over the higher end of the, the like normal size is 2.5 kilograms to 3.5.
Yeah,
that's a normal range. They consider it a normal sized newborn baby, but he was 4.2 or something.
Yeah,
so he was quite large. So
I was a big baby.
I was quite nervous about that. I mean, we spoke to the obstetrician at antenatal stage, and he was like, yeah, it's big, but he still seemed it was worth trying the natural delivery, not going for, I mean, he wasn't
cesarean.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like he still seemed thought it was possible to do without cesarean. So I mean, I imagine if he thought it was impossible, he would have said, no, this has got to be cesarean, but he didn't. So we just we went for natural birth.
Martha Abuju, we met via a mutual friend, but lately I've been having like a lot of degrees piled up from Kiki's life. So we can always share, but we also have a video I did on how we met. So if you can watch, I would really appreciate that as well. But ukitaka notes pia naweza kupatia notes from Kiki's live, but also tune in there always, because you never know, there's a lot to learn every day. So then Matthew was 4.2 or something. 4.2.
Mm-hmm.
And 4.2 we went through like different doctors, and they said we can be able to deliver, because my opinion was not to have a cesarean session.
Yeah, but I'm not really keen on that either.
I really have a bad skin. Like if I have a small scratch, it turns into something really big. And
I wasn't worried about the scars. It was more about
it was
the
more
procedure. It's a major surgery, so it's not a small thing. Yeah.
For me, it was more about the scars than anything else, because I was just like, I'm not going to have a big scar on my tummy if I can avoid it. I know the women who have given birth through yesterday. Okay.
Sorry, Daniel.
Have you? So I know. What?
Daniel, what is it?
Daddy's coming to help you.
Can I help you?
So I know there are many women who have given birth through cesarean section, which is the CS. I did have a CS. My son refused to come out, and instead he sat down. Wow. Niliogopa that kukatwa mlifanya mpaka suppose godmother ambie kwani namficha ball. We've just spoken the baby into existence. So atakuja, I gave birth through CS to twins. I had no choice. I think at the end of the day, like all in all, we are all mothers. Adrian is not here. All in all, we're all like mothers, despite how like the baby came out, whether it was CS, whether adopted, whether any type of delivery, I think validates all of us and justifies all of us to become mothers. Watoto wa siku hizi wako na starehe, wanakaa badala kutoka na kichwa. Yeah, so what he's saying, babies of today have a lot of luxury, that instead of coming out, they sit and just relax in your tummy. That's it, Kiki. Let me see. That's true, but Nelly has a sensitive skin. Yeah, I do have a very bad skin. Like a small scar would turn into something really, really big, and it's just not beautiful. So for me, that is why I opted not to have a CS. Because I've seen how my skin scars, and it's not nice. So that's why. But sorry, so okay, no worries. I was always scared. I was always scared of stretch marks and thought they look ugly, but after having my son, trust me, stretch mark is the most sexiest thing I can. Girl, you speak. Yeah, and sprinkles to that. I think like for me, stretch marks are the things that I struggled with most, because I battered my skin and I oiled my skin and I did all of that. Too. And he has stretch marks as well. And birth even. Have you pushed any babies out? I don't know where they come from. Have you pushed any babies out?
Well, I know it's without, it's not. Anyway.
So I think stretch marks are the most beautiful thing a woman can ever wear, and on them, girl, because they are a badge that somebody came out of there, and your body had to stretch, and it's okay. So I would say just on them. I pushed hardly 6 centimeters. Then the docs realized the baby's heartbeat was lowering, only to realize the cord was around. Yeah. Oh wow! Oh.
Yeah, I mean that's.
And then rushed. The more I pushed, the more her heartbeat went down. Was rushed to the CS. Wow.
It's
It's like many things that happen. That's just.
I mean, that's one of those classic difficulties from them.
Yeah, that is so.
That's scary. Anyway.
But either way, we're glad the baby is here. We are so happy. Like, we are so much happy. Nancy tumekumiss. Where's Nancy? I haven't seen Nancy. Let me see if I've seen Nancy. Wangu alitoka na kamkono. I think she wanted to sanitize anyway. The baby came out with the hand first. So she's saying maybe she was asking for a sanitizer first of all.
First, I think that's what you call what is it?
I have.
I forgot the position yet. It's from the
if it's any consolation, I was very sexy. I have very sexy stretch marks. Kiki, Richie, on it. Lily, stretch marks. Maybe I'm applying everything Sitaki. If you ever have success getting rid of them, let us know. But for me, I think I'm just like, close for me the door from the playroom. My kids are with the Legos. Maybe Happy's voice is so deep, like a news anchor or radio presenter. Imagine Rich Roger. I'm having a conversation. Oh, okay. So, thank you so very much. So we then decided to have the normal delivery, which was like the most scariest thing I ever did.
Yeah,
and then I noticed that also when you're giving birth, your mood swings comes back and your morning sickness again comes back.
Morning sickness?
Yeah, because I was throwing up. I didn't want to smell his coffee.
I can't remember throwing up.
Let's go back a little bit. Wait a minute. So then we're going to give birth, right? Mm-hmm. At that time, my husband was working in Somalia. So then every time he came, that's when we had time like to go and do shoppings for the baby. So the last flight we made back to Nairobi is when we were going for the last baby shopping, which included like mattresses and stuff. So then we went to Nakuma's junction, bought like bed and all that stuff, came back home. And then we had an auntie then. So we left auntie with the baby. And then oh wow. Okay. Ata upake nini kama wewe ni wakupata ni wakupatwa utapata to I use very many oils my whole pregnancy, and they surprised me a few days to delivery. I think for me, stretch marks are things I've just learned to, just rock. My weight I can work on. My stretch marks, I'm buttering my skin like every day because I don't want to look like a cassava, but I still have stretch marks nonetheless. My firstborn was induced for 2 days. My cervix didn't open. So I went to CS. I don't even know how labor feels like. Wow.
Well, you had to be
child. Delivery is so hard. Every time I listen to what has moms go through to bring this beautiful souls to the world, I always wish time would go back. I would respect my mom more things I did as a teen, I would have done different. True that, girl. True that. Nelly, why is your eyes struggling to read? Eat carrots, please. Richie, I have an eye problem, and it's really like getting better these days. If you've noticed, I'm not wearing my glasses, so it's getting there. And then you will embrace them. There's nothing wrong with stretch marks. Yeah, that's true. Also, Nancy Mwendo in the building. Usiogope, my friend. Ikifika time hakuna mtu anakuambia upande. Hainanga courtesy hiyo kitu. Unatupa wig, unasahau ni ya Royal Luxury. Yeah, they say like, okay, so when you go with people, when you're pregnant, you're always thinking of how will I give birth, like do I, like someone will see my cookie, with Gucci, and then you're like, oh, let's close, So she is saying that delivery You even take the wig off and throw it off because it's like it doesn't have no courtesy at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's delivery is
wow
is real. It's
Nancy. Kando kwanza ungoje mtoto akuje and then you resume. So then okay, prior to like the delivery day, I was having like what is it called, infection. What is it called? UTI.
Yeah, like
urinary tract infection.
Urinary tract infection.
Yeah, so I kept having like urinary tract infections, which are a normal thing if you're pregnant, but not so many of them because your pH naturally goes down. I had a painful but quick bath, normal, walked up and down steps a lot, and but this year's after open after from fibroid surgery removal, and I own it proudly. Oh, that's beautiful. That's so beautiful. Maria says, Kiki, the time comes for your baby to come out. Absolutely nothing can stop the process. So it's your gope, sweetheart. Very true. Like when the time comes, you'll just be like, breathe it away. So I had a couple of UTIs, and I had like treatments for them. But during by the time we're almost giving birth, I was having a UTI. So then the doctors were saying, because I was on medication already, it was okay to just give birth than to go for a CS. Hey, Essie, thank you so much for joining my stream today. So they said it was just okay to proceed. So then the doctor said it was just okay. We can go ahead and have, we just go ahead and have the baby. And so we went for induction. And induction was the most painful thing I've ever been through.
Was it painful?
My entire life. You know, like normal labor goes like from 0. And then it gradually climbs up. Yeah. And then when you induce, it means that whole process has been shortened.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know? Daniel is crying. Okay. So induction is like the most painful thing I've ever gone through, I think, as a person. Because instead of like having your labor gradually elevating, like going like gradually, it's like someone just gives you a whole dose of from the first stage to like the very last stage. And then you have to stay in that stage with that pain for I don't know how long, God knows for how long. Hold it properly and then put it in the dustbin.
Like that?
Yeah. And then fold. The inside comes out. Good job. And then fold. I'm teaching Adrian how to fold masks. Then you see, the only time you will have Dimitri unamwambia after this one you are considering secondary virginity because it's beautiful and worth it. All. Yeah, that's very true. Like I think when by the time you are about to have your baby, you opt for secondary virginity, but after the baby comes out, it's the most beautiful thing you could ever have. I think I read this one. Okay. Anapiga kelele kama watu wakubwa wanaongea. It's motherhood. Unfortunately, for me, I've had all my 4 kids by induction. This is the worst nightmare from me. Boy, for me, I think my last 2, my first Adrian's birth was normal delivery, no induction. and Adrian was 2.5 kgs. And then Matthew was 4.2 induced, and Daniel was 3.6 something. And Daniel was also induced. So the last two pregnancies were both induced. The first pregnancy was normal delivery, normal labor, normal everything. Manuela, you are strong. Yes. Shout out to the host. Thank you so very much. Induction is terrible. I agree with you, Essie. Induction is terrible. Sharon, hey. Zamushaya, hello. So we got induced, and that was like the most painful thing I've ever had to go. Like, I could not even compare it with delivering Adrian. Like, it was just so painful. So then we got induced, stayed with the thing for the whole night.
I think so, because they wouldn't let me stay. Right?
Yeah, I labored the whole night. We were at Aga Khan Hospital. So I labored the whole night. And then he came in the morning very early, because he also had to check on the kids. Adrian was at home. Yeah. So he went back home, and then I stayed in the hospital. And then, of course, he was told that we were only going to have the baby at least by morning. So by the time he was coming back in the morning, we were already having a baby. I was being wheeled into the labor.
Yeah, you were already there, weren't you?
Yeah, I was already there waiting. And then started coming the doctors. So this is like, the way I'm so short, guys. Like, I'm so short. Like, I'm really short. And my tummy was like up to here. I didn't even change my walking position, So the baby started, the doctor started rolling in, because they were not sure. So there was a conversation over if I'm going to have a CS, if it's okay to have a CS, or if it's okay to have a normal birth. We had opted for water delivery during the delivery process. So we had, of course, the bath and everything going on. The doctors came. I couldn't even remember what my name was, because I think I was like so much on the overload of those medicines that it was like I was just floating in my own pain and something. Like it was like I'd been given like weed. I was high on something. So the doctors were coming in, they were talking their own things. I can't even remember what exactly they were talking about. That's what I'm telling you. I was high on something. Like, it felt like umepatiwa bangi, umevuta, umeshika, zimenawo kotuko. Oh, do you understand that? I had UTI too. My daughter was given antibiotics the time she was born. Yeah, UTI is a normal thing that happens to pregnant women, and it's nothing to not to fright away from talking about, because these are things that we go through. Ona venye ana angaliwa haki, Kenyan men come and get tips. Chinese, nyinyi hutoa wapi? Nyinyi hutoa hawa wa kuangalia hivi wapi? Nancy, you're the sweetest. You are the sweetest. Tell us about the weed, Nelly. Don't shy. Listen, I think I was given an overdose of what is it called?
What did they give you? Oxytocin?
Oxytocin.
I can't remember that. Was it Daniel?
It's the oxytocin. It's the injection that they put in your drip to increase the.
But there were two things
to speed up. So they give you the drip, and inside the drip they had oxytocin in mine. And it's basically the same thing that they usually use to induce like abortions at the same time.
No, not for abortion.
Miscarriage.
No, it's to do with postpartum. God, I can't remember. I used to know all these things. I thought it was more also used. Well, tell me it has more than one use, basically.
It's also used if you're having a miscarriage. If there's any doctors, any nurse here, they can they can tell us. It's the same thing that they can always also, because I remember very well when I had my miscarriage, I was given more or less the same thing to have.
Okay. But yeah, I think it's my recollection. It was for Okay, I can go look it up.
If there's any, it's okay.
That's crazy.
If there's any doctors or nurses here, they can tell us. Salimia mzungu mwambie mambo. Wengo says mambo, say poa sana.
Poa sana.
Yeah, good job. We're talking about our labor and delivery story. So basically like the process of us from having the labor to the process of delivery. And welcome and thank you so much for being here. Thank you guys for being here. All of you, I really appreciate you guys. I love the discussion, making my evening literally. Oh, thank you so much, Simply Corner. Thank you so much. We abujuma Afrika angekuwa kwa pub. Oxymoron ndio tunajua. Oh wow, okay. So got induced. I'm high on these like medicines, and mark you guys, the whole night I have not eaten anything because one, I wasn't feeling like eating
you
it.
didn't like the food, I think.
And then I felt like the whole food hospital was just having like its own smell. I just did not like it. Like the place, the sector to which I was in had like the best food, the first class kind of food, but I was just like, no, not for me. So then came morning time for delivery, then the drama begins. So we've labored for a long time in between trying to have a bath, calm bath.
Yeah.
I noticed that thing is not meant for me. Like people who take pain the way I take pain, like the water in the first pregnancy was not helping.
Work. Yeah, it didn't seem to help at all.
It wasn't working at all.
Because I went eventually to the bed,
So then we decided that because the water was not working and because I was feeling like drowsy and like high on something, like I felt like I wasn't even sitting. It was like I was floating in it. So they decided to take me back to the bed. And then now Matthew is now coming, whether we like it or not.
Well, no, I mean, it took some time. It wasn't, that's the problem. It was, and for some reason we only had, there was supposed to be another midwife there, right?
Yeah, there's supposed to be another midwife helping the midwife we had, but she said that she was going to call the midwife when we were about to give birth. And then things, I think, escalated really quick.
Yes, because then I was taking over the role of the midwife. She said, here, take this leg. I mean, literally, take this. That's what she said. I'll never forget that. Take this leg. So
they said,
because it was getting,
I was on the bed, right?
Yeah, because it was getting on a bit, and we were, she's beginning to get concerned that, because I guess when you engage, isn't it the head?
When you start
head
pushing,
with the pelvis,
yeah,
you've got to get the whole thing
out.
It's sort of point of no return, yeah. So
the doctor.
So we did it. It was just me and the midwife.
So it was my husband and the midwife.
She, finally, because also Nelly was getting tired. That's the thing. That's why I was afraid because she hadn't eaten. So one thing, I don't know. I mean, if I thought about it properly in advance, then I would have said brought some kind of sugary drink or something to keep some energy flowing through the because it's obviously easier. You don't want your stomach heavily full of matter like taking up, because one of the issues also is space. All those bits and all those bits down there are colliding. So the end of your intestine, etc. And all that. So you don't really want a massively full tummy either.
Yeah.
So some kind of sugary drink would have been a good idea.
So my husband
had energy going, but we didn't have that, and I didn't think of it, so I didn't realize it was going to be like this.
So my husband had my one leg.
Yeah.
And then my one leg was
with the midwife.
And then I was told to start pushing.
Yeah.
So then we started pushing, and pushing was the hardest because the baby was big, and it was like if you don't push and get the baby out, you are going for a cesarean section. And when I heard about that, I was just like,
well, also just
not me.
You don't want to have a situation with it.
Yeah. And I remember at some point, like when we started pushing, the nurse started saying, if you're not careful, you're going to end up killing the baby because you're taking, you're not, one, I wasn't like, as much as we had done like all the classes for labor and delivery, I wasn't still pushing the right way at the same time. And Why was you holding her legs?
Oh, because there was no other. The other midwife wasn't there, and we had to try to get the maximum. Literally, I mean, it sounds, depending. I don't know if you're squeamish, but because I've been medical program manager in NGOs for a while, so I've seen all kinds of crazy things. But I'm basically the maximum stretch, like maximum stretch, because because of the size of Matthew.
Matthew is so big,
yeah, it was like maximum stretch. So.
And Lily is saying, "Oh my God, Kiki, men like stealing the show during the deliveries. They faint, and now the nurse, how should I send to them instead and watch?"
I know. I want to hear those stories. It's terrible. I was fully functioning the whole time because I was really worried about the weight of the size of Matthew. So I was just like this, like watching everything, and it just time. I mean, I'm glad I was there because. Maybe delay. I mean, if the other midwife hadn't turned up,
wow,
and then she's
Gina,
waiting,
mom is a midwife.
She's waiting for the midwife, and there's nobody else to get the show going. On where is this midwife? She could be on break or something, or I don't know.
Maybe it was
so. Yeah, I mean, I was. I mean, it was a bit unsatisfactory, and the sense I was like, what would have happened if I hadn't been there? But anyway, so
Kiki is saying this is a nice conversation that she just posted here. When they see, they'll never have sex again. Is that the same case?
Well, yeah, there was some stuff going on. I mean, there was a bit of a bang here. There was some projectiles, various kinds, both solid and liquid matter.
But does it stop you from having put up with that?
No, well, I don't know. I suppose. I mean, it didn't stop me, but
I mean,
I said I'm not a squeamish type because I've been watching like my medics in Somalia like sewing somebody, inside somebody's leg, taking bits of bone out.
Fistula surgeries.
Not fistula, but I mean just gunshot wounds and all kinds of nasty things. So I mean, it doesn't really bother me as such, but I know other people very, it's just not their thing. I mean, it's not everybody's the same. So I was okay. Yeah. So I mean, it might affect someone else. I really don't know, but like I said, I was glad I was there to
experience.
Well, not experience, to help. I mean, I wasn't watching. I was actually
you're in
part of the medical
process.
team. It's not the first time I've had to do this.
Have you ever delivered a baby?
No, but you know what happens to me all the time. I'm always end up as part of some medical team because somebody's missing or something.
Okay. So my husband has my one leg and the nurse has the other leg and I am pushing. And this time it's just me, you, and the nurse, right?
And the midwife.
And the midwife.
Yeah.
No, how many people?
Just the three of us.
Three people, yeah. And then, of course, we didn't have no family member at that time present with us on that day. So then the pushing starts.
That was well in advance by the time I had to take the leg, I think.
Yeah.
It was some time,
So can you take over like what happened from there? Because you seem to know.
Well, I can't remember exactly the sequence, but I mean, it took some time. I mean, it was getting more and more nerve-wracking. But then finally, he just came out. So, the final push, to use it.
The final push, the baby came out, and there was the Isuzu.
And that was earlier on. You blasted her.
No, wait a minute, guys. So when we started pushing, that push that you kind of think like, if you have ever had UTI when you're pregnant, I think you'd know this. When you're pushing, like towards when the baby is almost coming out, there was that very big urge to just poop or susu. Mine was susu.
Well, there was poop at one point too. I saw it at the end. That's what I remember. The susu was earlier.
Okay, then it was more nasty now.
And now I mean it's a bit hairy. I mean, there's also a bit of blood at the end. I mean, I was a bit alarmed by the amount of blood, but the midwife didn't seem to be. So I don't.
What
the uterus.
saying?
I mean, there's a lot of uterus in the placenta. The
placenta.
The placenta. I mean, there's a lot of blood in the placenta. So
yeah, I
assumed it was from that.
What he's saying, I would not like my man to watch when the baby is coming out. He can help me wipe sweat from my face. but not to watch how wide my canal. Listen, for us, the main plan, we had all this figured out when we were going in. He was supposed to wipe my sweat at the same time. He was not supposed to be down there. He was not supposed to be on my cookie. You know, he was just supposed to be up here with the towel on his shoulder, wiping my sweat because I was so much sweating. But things did not go as planned. So he had to sit there, So there was this like very all I know is when the kids cry, it's beautiful. That's true.
I was relieved too. Because Matthew like held out for like 1 second. He didn't cry in the beginning.
Yeah.
So we were like, oh God, no. But then he did. So it was, it was okay.
So then, becoming the Gina mom. So then the first urge to push was just like a pee. What did I call it?
Yeah, I mean,
a susu. You call it a susu? Urine.
Yeah.
And I washed everyone along the way.
Everybody standing in that, line of fire was taken down.
My husband and then
I was watching. She was
in front.
She got hit.
And then she got hit by this susu. And so that left my husband as the only person on duty as she went to like wipe out and stuff like that. So if you've ever had at Nairobi Hospital, you'll have your man support, but he will stand beside your head. He won't be allowed to see the what? At the Khan, we were allowed. Like he was just.
Well, I mean, it was happening in real time. I mean, the situation developing in real time, so there wasn't a case of what's allowed or not.
And they also asked us. I remember before we went in. If you wanted to be there or you wanted to be like how you wanted to participate in the delivery, they made sure to ask us, and we were like so clear he has to be there. Tony ni baba ya mapacha twins, mbegu yako si ya huduma. Tony una make sure wanatoka ping ping. I hope you did, if you're having twins, I hope it was a CS.
That's a tricky one.
That's a tricky one.
I mean,
but when ukipata mtu kanatoka mbili unamaliza haraka. Watu wa white wanapenda kumumunya maneno wanatisha mtu kupiga now story. No, Waingo, I think once you get used to it unazoea. So ni sawa. Karibu Hilda, karibu sana. Thank you guys so much for coming in and for watching this. I really, really do appreciate this. Most men faint when they see Kanyao expanding. Now you know all these dialects and now you know all of them. Okay. Do you know Kanyao? Personally, because of waiting for so long to heal after CS, you are a honia. Okay. Yeah. So then came the susu splash. And then after the susu splash came the baby.
No, there was still, the susu thing was quite early-ish.
He knows better than I do.
And then it was, that seemed like interminable effort to get.
And at that time, where were you? Standing in front, like in front
of the
on the
side. On the side, but I'm standing, next to you, in line with your pelvis. I can't remember how I was facing, but the point is, you can see what's happening, basically, because you have to pay attention to the midwife, because, waiting for any instructions from her, right? If anything is, so, I wasn't just sort of standing there and dreaming. I had to really, be switched on, because, I was now part of the medical team.
It's true. My cousin fainted in the delivery. Wow, in the delivery room, 2 emergencies. That's interesting.
I know. I mean, I think you. It just depends.
That thing is not beautiful. Trust me, it's the most amazing.
I think what we're talking about.
Okay, now bye. You going to play now? Love you. Close the door. Oh, you are amazing.
Beautiful. I mean, I found the whole thing fascinating. Just, I have a sort of, like I said, a medical mindset. So, other people don't. So it's understandable why they maybe just not dreadfully fascinating when they faint or something.
I think listen, for me, my belief is if you went down there and all this had to come up about, then you also should be willing to see when your gift is finally being delivered.
Well, I mean, it's part of life, yeah. I mean,
right.
Yeah.
Like
I said, I mean, some people just, the sight of any blood, they're just practically fainting. So, I mean, it's just the way some people are. It's not, it's not really their choice.
Nelly, thank you so much for taking time and being here. I really do appreciate you, girl. I know you're taking your time off duty, so really, really do appreciate this. It means a lot. Kiki, I said that on your live, Watu Waka Catch, Gatambuta resembles a very bird frog. I think it's the most beautiful thing on earth. I would say, Nelly, Mr. Harman knows Kanyao. Do you know Kanyao?
Like some lady's name, Mrs. Kanyao.
Mrs. Kanyao. Yeah. Maca roots is good for libido. Oh, wow. I didn't know that for libido boost. I only know of Ilang Lang. Is it Ilang Lang or Ilang Lang? Essential oil, it helps, but also do that meat in that salad. Those are good for you. And those nuts, ooh. Kwani kakinyolewa kanaka frog kabisa. I think kanaka more of a frog. Ama kushindaka. Me, I think kanaka katambota. Like katambota. Like this. Nataka kuchocha huyu abuju nakumbuka. Hatuko IG. Choche Tony, ebu let us nisikia kama atakujibu. I don't know what my kids are doing back there. Kiki tuna mgeni. Mgeni bado hajafika bado. Kapusi, ya Kapusi. Okay, Matthew, bye. Love you. Yeah, so then where are we? So then Matthew comes out, and then there's the caca.
Was a lot of blood too. I found that bit a bit alarming, but what I read previously, the placenta has a lot of blood in it.
Yeah,
increases your blood mass. So I was assuming it was okay. I mean, I was waiting to see if is the midwife going to react to that. She didn't, so I thought, okay, it must be normal, and also normal based on what I'd read about the extra blood mass that you develop when you're pregnant. And then what was it?
Yeah.
I was a little Matthew,
take your
worried that because hey Daniel, when you have
So at first we were worried about like when the blood was coming out. I love kids, like the way they believe in themselves when they're doing things, and then they kind of don't get it right, and then it's kind of like, but it's beautiful. So when the placenta came out, then there was too much blood, and too much blood was like more than too much blood. So then nashanga vile wababa hukula hiyo kitu mercilessly. I think it's the most amazing thing ever created, designed. It's the most beautiful thing. Wengo, do you have babies? I love kids. Okay. Oh, thank you so much. I love them too, Nancy. Exactly. When kids are quiet, they are up to no good. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's very true. There's a comment I'm trying to pin here and it's gone. Hakuna butterflies. Hakuna butterfly ata nashanga vile wa baba. Okay, I read that one. Gunta Liebe here. Dear. Is it? Okay, Language these days is disappearing. Yvonne, asante kwa comments. Yeah, so then there was a lot of blood coming out, and a lot of blood coming out was okay because it was the placenta being delivered, but mine was laying more on the, is it called hemorrhage, right?
I don't know. Because I didn't hear anything after that.
It was laying more towards like the wiring side, because I remember my husband asking like, is everything okay? And the nurse was like, oh, everything is fine. So my husband was asking if everything was going to be okay with me, and they said everything was fine. Gunta, I hope you understand what we're saying. Sema, I love it here in Germany. Yeah, I love it here. Okay. I got Ich liebe, but here I read as dear, which is different. Okay. Ich liebe in Frankfurt. Oh, Gunther lives in Frankfurt. Wow, peleka back to the German class. Okay. Okay. So then we were worried about like the amount of blood that was coming out, and they said it was fine. So I was wheeled back to my recovery room, and then piteni nayo kama mnaweza pita nao. Lebe kama liebe. Okay. Kiki mimi nitoka German classes kitambo mpaka siku hizi kalibe kanapotea. So then got wheeled back to the recovery room, and then when we got to the recovery room, it was the same day. That was the same day you had lost your dad, right?
Well, just before
that. Sim Kenya, imagine. Sim Kenya. So mwenye anataka hapa kuna biju watu wachangamke. Okay. Lebe lu Kiki unaelwa hiyo. Kiki understands. I think Kiki used to speak German where she used to live in before. Sasa karibu niko single. Okay. Wangapi wameweka passport na briefcase ready? Okay, ziko ready. Safari iko karibu kuanza. Kuna pambazuka ka safari kaanze. So then we decided we got wheeled back to the recovery room, and we got wheeled back to the recovery room. My husband was also preparing to fly back because his father had passed on, and he was just about to. They're going to arrange like the funeral and stuff like that. So he was planning to fly back to England at that time. Yes, I lived in Germany before. Yeah, Kiki lived in Germany. So then my husband leaves me in the hospital under the care of the nurses. We were in if you've ever gone to Aga Khan, there's the private sector, the private, what is it called? It's not the pavilion, is it? It's the pavilion sector. I think that's the name. I can't remember very well. So we're there. So got back into my recovery room, and then the doctors and the nurses assured him everything was going to go okay. And because we were like in the hospital, I mean, what wrong can go wrong after your baby has been delivered? Nothing, right? So then my husband goes back home, preps, and then he comes back, wishes me nice time in the hospital. Of course, he has to fly back for his father's delivery. Tekla, stop doing as daddy. Siwewe who had to treat Germany, it's unfair. Let's address him in English. fear God and play clean. Tekla, I think kuna watu wanajaribu kuhunt. So Miss Jukunendaze hapo. We saying something, sweetheart?
It's delivering the funeral.
Yeah, my husband was getting ready to go for the father's funeral, and I was staying behind in the hospital for the 3 days that they usually check if you're okay, if everything is okay with the baby. The baby has to get the first vaccine and all that stuff. So I was staying behind, and he was traveling. He was flying back to the UK. So then he comes, checks me out, and of course, wishes me the best, and then he leaves. And I think more or less, Issa, was it after you had arrived that when you're calling, I was telling you everything was not okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when he lands in the UK, then he calls back. And I'm just like, everything is not going on well. What the nurses are saying versus what I'm feeling are two different things, like altogether. So them, according to them, they were saying, oh, you are just fine. You've just delivered, so it's expected. And for me, like, everything was just not okay. So apparently, long story short, when we were delivering the baby, I had some of the feces get back into my, what is it called? Into the cookie, back into the cookie, and that caused an infection. And so I was having an infection after delivery. So according to them, they're saying because the delivery process went on okay, there was nothing until now. When I was like, my temperatures went really down. I was so cold. I was going in between the intervals of feeling too hot and too cold, too hot and too cold. And so I remember at some point, I don't know, it was, for me, I would say it was just a typical, is it doctor or nurse's misconduct, if that is something I could say now, because they waited too long to do the test and find out what was happening. And I felt like they waited until we had to put like too much pressure on them, which is why I felt like doing this live today was really a good thing. Because mostly to men, if they take their wives to the hospital, you think like once you have paid good money, in our case, it was about like 250 Kenyan shilling thousand. And usually would say like maybe once you have paid that and you're waiting to top up upon discharge, then everything is going to go well. But in my case, everything was not going on well. So I had the what's her name? Anaishi Bonhoff. Okay. I had the bacteria going back, breeding in me at that particular time. And then we had to go back to now thorough treatment, which was like antibiotics, drips and whatnot. So I ended up staying in the hospital for another 2 weeks. Was it 2 to 3 weeks?
2 weeks. A couple of days.
No. We stayed for 3. We stayed for 3 days. The third day for delivery is when I had the infection now went up, right? And then I ended up staying in longer.
Yeah, longer.
For how long?
I don't remember exactly, but
I think the whole time added to 2 weeks or something.
No, not 2 weeks.
It's more than that. Less than that. Okay, I can't remember. Less? Okay. So anyway, we ended up staying longer than after the arranged plan at first, which was 3 days. And then got discharged with antibiotics, went home, and we started like practicing the big deed after, I think, how long? I think 5 months later, I think. That is when I felt like I was ready to go back into the game. Okay, those who are asking, Gunta is saying he's been single. That term I don't understand. Model ban is main hobby. Okay, I don't understand what model bag is, but I know that's his hobby. Lili, typical haraka type ni kama tunakulipa. You are our amazing translator. That's amazing. Yeah, you can translate and then I'll be like, huyu ni mjuaji anafanya nini hapa kama kwao kuna wasichana wengi. Ukuja kwa live za YT kusupport sana sana, yeye pia anafanya YT. So what about insurance at Aga Khan? You must have paid a fortune. We had insurance, right? Matthew's time. No, we didn't. We didn't have insurance during Matthew's delivery. So we ended up paying the first deposit of 250,000, and then the rest was topped up later after the whole calculation, of course, of the stay in and everything like that. So yeah, but hobby yake ni modeling ama hata mimi kwa nafikiri nasema hivyo. Aki mimi sitasoma hiyo ni mingi sana, itanipatia headache nikisoma yote. Labda kukula pengine, we never know. We can never know. So guys, after delivery, Matthew, we waited and then we went back to playing. Went back to playing and playing hard and playing tough, and then we got pregnant again for Daniel. And that was in Daniel is just about to hit 2 years, so he got 2 years in November. In November, so Daniel just hit 2 in November, so he's just over 2 years old. So during Daniel's delivery, he was 3.6 and some almost 3.7. What insurance at those hospitals? You can go crazy. My son had issues, kiasi, where the bill was crazy and didn't even have insurance. Yeah, it's very expensive. It's medical treatment. Just generally, medical sector is the most expensive part of the entire Kenya, I think, I would say.
Yeah, it's not funny.
If you don't have insurance, and even insurance screws you up because it
depends, because
after Matthew was delivered, I think this is something I also wanted to mention. After Matthew was delivered, Matthew had his urinary tract.
Yeah, it was like a congenital, basically a
congenital condition,
inherited, basically a birth defect, if you like.
Yeah.
And they were claiming they don't cover it.
So after immediately Matthew was born, we got him insured with the APA insurance, and then APA said, wait a minute, APA was also covering me during the pregnancy, but we took a cover that did not cater for delivery time. No.
Okay. I can't remember.
So when Matthew was delivered, we got Matthew insured immediately, and they said the baby was insured, so we're like, everything is fine. And then some months later,
we
discovered that the baby's urine was reducing. Like if we're changing like diapers, like the amount of diapers in a day, they kept going down and down and down. And these are some of the things that if you are becoming a new mom, you need to watch out for. So we went to the hospital, we got him checked, and then they told us that his urinary tract was blocked. It was blocking.
It's like blocking from the inside. It's like they described to me, as some like joints.
Yeah.
It's like a spot. It's like when the child is being conceived, the urinary tract sort of. It's almost like a series of pipes. Like you connect two pipes together, and there's like a joint. Except for some reason, the joint like malfunctions. It goes inside. And somehow it somehow decides to grow inwards, and so it blocks the pipe, basically.
Yeah.
So it has to be surgically opened.
Yeah.
And I was terrified. I thought, do they have this kind of? It's apparently very. One of my doctors in Somalia said it's not. How did he put it? It's not like crazy from a technical point of view. You know, it's not brain surgery or something or a heart, but it's very, because of the size, it has to be very. It's very minute. You know, it's very precise, intricate that way. And so I was like, my God, is there anybody can do this work? And unfortunately, there was. I mean, some experienced pediatrician in urology. I was like, amazing. Okay, fantastic. Perfect.
So then we called. We went in. So the doctors.
Yeah, but I mean, it's considered in some cases an emergency situation, because he was explaining that in some cases Matthew didn't have like the worst case of it.
Yeah.
But in other cases, it can be quite severe, and so it blocks the urine very quickly, and then
the baby's not able to.
But it will affect the kidneys. You know, it backs up into the kidneys, and the kidneys will fail.
Yeah.
So if you ever notice something like this, you need to act quite really fast.
Yeah.
If you notice some strange change in that, or in anything in the child, but I mean that's just one aspect. I never knew about the condition. It took me completely by surprise. I didn't think such things were possible. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, long story short, I mean, the insurance didn't cover it, so anyway, we paid for that one. So, yeah.
So we called the insurance, and the insurance said that they were not going to cover that. So that's what I was saying. If you're taking an insurance cover, especially in
that's the thing. I mean, you have to be. You know, there are all these classic insurance company
like Bupa, for example.
Loopholes, if you want to call them. You know, they don't do. You know, the traditional one was always pre-existing conditions. You hear that like a lot in the United States, if you join a company and you've already got something, then they're like, you know, they'll classify it as a pre-existing condition, so they won't cover it. So what's the point in taking insurance then? But a funny thing was APA did cover. You just have to read the fine print. It's a real hassle, but you literally, I mean, I was trying to go through everything I thought I could think of when we took the insurance, you know, checking like, what does this mean? Are you covering what? You're not covering the congenital thing. I missed it somehow completely. Yeah. So, for example, you can get an HIV cover. I mean, that's a pre-existing condition. So, I mean, with APA, I think they were the first to cover, for example, HIV. If you had HIV already, which is in reality and technically a pre-existing condition that other companies wouldn't cover you. But so you see that, I mean, you just have to check, because they can change. They may cover something specific like HIV treatments, but not something else. So you really have to watch out. So I think only advice I can give in a context where you have to have insurance is the only option, then I think it's good to have, if at all possible, some savings, like a contingency saving, money you've saved for something unexpected. Of course, it still may not be enough in the, depending on what happens, but that's the only other thing I can suggest. It's the same if you live in the United States. I mean, it's the same, unfortunate situation. They it's an insurance-based system, so it's just like Kenya. So unlike, Finland, United Kingdom, yeah. So
if you want, if you think you are ever going to have those kind of, I think Bupa is one of the insurance covers that we found that basically would cover.
I can't remember, but I mean, you just have to check very carefully.
Yeah.
What they're saying, and because some of the terminology can be a little bit just unclear, frankly. So, but they sure as heck won't be unclear when they decide. Like, they know what it means in the situation. They definitely won't be unclear with you when the situation happens. So you really have to force it out to them. I mean, I remember sat with that lady. I must have driven her nuts, but I mean, drive them nuts. I mean, it's better.
I think for me, the main part that I felt disappointed in the insurance system was the fact that when the doctors wrote a letter to them, they sat on the letter for a long time before they gave feedback.
Okay.
And they were told it was urgent.
Yeah,
and then after they were told it was urgent, and they sat on the letter for a long time. And Matthew, these are people, once the baby, we never used the cover. We were just paying our payments.
Yeah, I mean,
but we were never using he had 2 different covers because he was working outside.
I've had a terrorism cover.
A terrorism cover for him.
You can you can get that.
And we were
that's one thing that
paying,
normally, insurance doesn't cover.
we were paying like all the heads in our house. And at that time, I'm like, guys, we've even been paying for terrorism cover, which we have not utilized. We're still paying. You guys need to come through for us. And they're like, oh, we'll see. And then they never came back. And then when we got to like the day of the surgery, I called back again and they tell me that you can just go ahead and look for money from any people. And this money is like the day of the surgery. Like try and do like a fundraiser or something and then get your baby treated and then we'll pay you back. And I'm like, so why then was I getting an insurance cover if you guys were not going to cover and then tell me to fundraise and then you pay me back later? It wasn't making sense to me. So anyway, they never paid for that. And that was just like so annoying. But the rest, they were good. Kiki uletia buju live. Depends with the insurance policy. Yes, that's very true. So I think for us now, when we got pregnant for Daniel, we decided not to have a cover because we
had a cover, but then we didn't renew it because it just.
The other things that I wasn't from the first time was
there were other issues. I wasn't so impressed with that particular cover, so we were kind of looking around, but for something else, but then in the end didn't get anything. So
and the fact that they were saying that they were going to remember when the lady Nancy, see where the other Nancy, when the lady was saying the agent, our agent's name.
Yes.
When she was saying that they're going to look into things like congenital conditions and it was going to be okay. And I was just like, if you guys have not fixed it, I'm not going back there again.
Yeah, I mean, they were very keen to try and get us back.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So guys, that was the delivery for Matthew. So the delivery for Daniel.
Yeah, we just paid for
everything we paid for by ourselves. But during Daniel's pregnancy was tough. Because I had thyroid.
Thyroid went crazy, and then that extreme form of a morning sickness, which actually has a special conditions, like something extremis, something. But it's actually considered like an acute condition, extreme, where you can't keep anything down, so you're vomiting everything. So then you get extremely. It's like it's like having a bad case of diarrhea or something because you get totally dehydrated.
Yeah.
And weaker. So that went on for some time.
So Daniel's pregnancy came with
quite
the
horrendous.
worst.
Totally unexpected because it wasn't like, they often say, one thing I've read about is that every pregnancy can be different. So, the reason being that, I know about this because I was running those obstetric programs. So part of our awareness raising was to get, especially rural women to understand that they should go for antenatal. They shouldn't just rely on the tradition, what's referred to as the traditional birth attendant or their mother or something, because you can have, a line of uneventful pregnancies and deliveries, and all of a sudden the next one is like totally bonkers.
Yeah.
So in some way. So it's that's one thing I suppose also to take away from this is that the way it can be just unpredictable,
Yeah. So Daniel's pregnancy was like the worst ever morning sickness I've ever had to go through. Like I couldn't just keep anything in my stomach at all, and so then that went on for a long time, and then there was also the thyroid, which was like up and down, up and down. This time still my husband was working in and out of Kenya. Yeah.
Well, I was in London at the time.
No, he was in London at that time. So then started like I was mostly in the hospital because the doctors had said we induce an abortion.
Well, they were getting really worried because it was.
I've gone through
quite a bad situation.
I'm not going to go through it anymore, never. And so we decided to just have I decided to proceed.
Yeah.
With the pregnancy.
But it calmed down after a while. Was that the first trimester? It was
after in the middle of the second trimester.
Okay. Yeah. So it eventually calmed down.
So in the middle of the second trimester, it calmed down, but then I started like having the bleedings, and then I was also having.
But how much was that? How much was the bleeding?
It was like more or less like spotting.
Referred to as spotting.
Spotting, not bleeding.
Like now.
So I was spotting.
Small amounts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was spotting, and my thyroid was.
Did they ever work out what that
still,
reason for that was? The spotting?
Not really.
Because you have different reasons for spotting as well. That's the thing. But I mean, you should always, if you have, this means spotting means literally just like a spot, a little bit of blood. I mean, obviously, the more blood, the more worry. But still, even if it's just that's actually the technical term, like spotting. So that can.
But I think also
that can cover a range of volumes of bleeding. But whatever it is, you should always go and check if something unusual like that happens.
Okay, we'll get it. So generally, I think for me during that time, I was going through a lot of stress because we're planning for the move to Finland.
Also planning that.
I was also having a case in court going on. I was pregnant. It was just could be any of the contributing factors. I cannot remember.
The stress, that's true.
Very well.
The stress was affecting.
Because I remember going to court to like the very last days of my pregnancy before.
Oh God, yeah. Well, I mean, by then though, it's already
been made,
done. I mean, it was November, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just before he was born. Then it was born. I mean, by that time it was sort of all over. But,
Maureen says, I had a C-section. My baby wasn't ready even after multiple efforts to induce. It cost about $74,000, 47, but the insurance paid 36. Wow. Okay, that's nice. That's nice. Lucky.
36. There's something about 10. 11.
Wow. Mothers, we do go through a lot. Thank you so much for the 48 amazing people in the house. I really, really do appreciate all of you so much. Thank you for everyone who has shared this around. If you're ever wondering the best way you can support me, Kiki went live to tell you guys to come and support me. I really do appreciate that. But sometimes you might be thinking, how else can I support? You can play me on an extra gadget if you have to. Also watching here is also supporting my content, and also apart from that, you can also share this stream with your friends and tell them to come and join the stream as well, so that we get the numbers going up. But I really do appreciate all of you for being here. If you miss it, if you miss part of the beginning, please feel free to rewatch this stream, because I'm targeting to get to 4,000 hours, and this is part of the process. And thank you so much for also being here with me. I really appreciate it. I'll give you a donut.
You make me a cake.
I'll give you a cookie. I'll give you a cookie. Yeah.
Ice cream.
Okay, I'll make an apple pie. The racing car. Matthew, define Daniel the racing car.
There was one on the table.
You check for me.
Okay.
So so then during Daniel's time for delivery, I think everything went on okay, and after delivery was now where we had an extra other problem. So during Daniel's delivery, we had this time when I was lucky to have my husband.
I was there again.
Were you here?
Of course I was there, but were there two midwives again?
Yeah, delivery everything was perfect.
I can't remember two. But there were two.
There were two.
Okay.
There were two.
So weird. It's funny how your
there
mind
were two. I remember
out.
there were two. I remember.
I mean, I must have.
You were talking to me. I remember the labor when I was dancing my pain away and stuff like that. And you and Frida. Awesome. This time we were with my husband's friend, so she was also helping us.
Yeah,
bless her. So we were my husband and my friend Frida, our common friend, and then the two nurses, and that was just so amazing. I had like the best support.
It was very fast. I mean, it took the midwife by surprise. I mean, we just said,
but I was still induced. It wasn't. Like
yes, you had to be. Yeah, it's true.
I had to go for a sweep.
Had to be. Oh, and the sweep. Yes, because he was late.
The baby was late to come again. Like my delivery was not as planned, like 9 months. So I went for the sweep, which is where they sweep your cervix to just open, like start up the process, I think.
Stimulated or something.
And then after the sweep, then I went for.
Yeah. Then you went for induction also.
After the sweep, the baby was still not coming, so we had to go for an induction.
Yes.
Because they said that after the sweep, the cervix was now open. The baby had to be delivered after a certain amount of days.
Yeah, because it can't leave it open
past that because they've already opened up the.
A bit.
Yeah. So then when those days were starting to approach, we decided to just go in because it was already scheduled for that to happen. And then so we went in, had the delivery, and I think this time around it was very
he just came.
It was not easy on my body.
No, but I mean, it wasn't like Daniel's. I mean, Daniel's was literally a cliffhanger. I mean, Matthew's rather, it was,
Matthew's
big childbirth was a real cliffhanger.
Very.
Whereas Daniel was just like, he came, even surprised the midwife because she wasn't ready yet. He just said, I feel like pushing, and she just went.
Yeah.
Like she was getting ready for I guess the way she thought it was gonna. Her
and I think at this time, remember again, the midwives who gave birth to help us deliver Matthew is one of the ones who were there when we were giving birth to Daniel. So she kind of was like, we're just getting prepped.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, but it was good.
It was good, and to have her also there because she had worked with us from when I was pregnant for Matthew to now when I was pregnant for Daniel. That was also extra comfort. Best midwife ever. I wish I knew her name. If you're ever going to Aga Khan, she's dark and she's in her maybe 40s, 50s.
I honestly can't remember them.
In her 60s. I wish I had her name. She's the best you can ever find. And
I remember somebody. Yeah, when we handed over.
And she has the big nash behind here. She has the big behind.
What she looks like exactly.
She's amazing though. I can't remember her name. Thank you so much, Zamu. Thank you so very much. So then we delivered, and then everything was just fine. Did they check the placenta? Because now that's when
because that's where the handover took place. This is when the placenta had been delivered. I guess most of it come out, but.
And they had to hand over to a different person.
Yeah, because I remember there was a bit left though. Even when you were being taken into to your room, there was a bit left on the delivery bed. Some more had come out, and then
So then, after the delivery, they always have to inspect the
placenta. They're supposed to see
the placenta.
Oh
yeah. And they checked.
Yes, I mean, I guess.
But how come it wasn't whole?
Well, that's the thing. There was some retained something. I mean, I don't know if it was.
What basically happened is they said they checked. In the report, they said they checked. But then Abuja wamesema akuje kwa live yako kiki baadaye. So tunakuja kuona nenda kwa nani leo. Nani ako North Africa, especially Egypt, besides Doshi Akabani. Tumini sijui Doshi Akabana ni wapi? Or ni nini? Ni wapi uko? Okay, CG. So what happened is we then decided, we gave birth, got wheeled to the recovery room.
To your room, and then
the question was still asking was, did the whole placenta come out?
We didn't have any question. I thought the whole thing was so uneventful at that stage. I thought, great,
the baby has been
everything
delivered
is.
easy.
There's no.
What's wrong can go, right?
And they didn't say you have any concerns, so we were just sitting there, and then you started saying.
I started having these colds. I wasn't
said
feeling okay. I felt like something.
Yeah, I remember your stomach. You started talking about your stomach being sort of big or hard, was it? I mean, your lower abdomen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it didn't dawn on me.
So I had pain on my lower abdomen that was so severe, and it felt like something was
just very firm. It was too hard. Right.
Help me.
And then she went to the loo, to the toilet and I saw some blood on the floor, and I was like, "Well, is this supposed to be normal or what?" I really wasn't sure. And then, what point did we call the nurse then at some point?
When I first tried to stand up to go to the washroom, and there was blood, and then we decided to.
Was it that stage?
We called the nurse.
Yeah.
And then after the nurse was called, then
they just asking, is this normal? Is this normal or what?
Yeah.
And then they were concerned, so they came with a whole team. I mean, the doctor and everything,
and then they said it was just a blood clot.
Well, I don't remember exactly, but something,
So we had we had to manually push the.
Well, I mean, they put you on
out, and then I had the antibiotics.
No, but there was a lot of blood then that came after that.
Yeah.
Because you were literally sitting in it, and that's where I really, I was just, I remember seeing all that, sitting in that blood, and just being like, oh hell.
I think for me at that point, I felt like I was losing my life.
Yeah, I mean, that was a bit tricky. Because these are classic. Like I said, I've read about these situations, so I just thought, is this? Immediately my alarm bells were set off. I was like, no, this can't be happening.
Okay.
And so, well, they did. I guess they did they were trying to get some more, trying to search for any other pieces, right?
No, they said that it was a blood clot, so they said we can just get it out. So they came.
Well, they did, yeah.
And then
they had to administer a drug to.
Yeah.
To stop the bleeding, basically.
Yeah, so we did the drug to stop the bleeding, which I think was also part. I don't know. Say part of the. I don't know because I'm not a medic.
It was part of that because they had to stop. Anyway, that was a violent one because it was. It makes you feel incredibly cold.
Yeah.
I mean, she was like shaking. I was like holding on to her. It was like, I mean, literally, that was really. I was sitting there for. I mean, it seems like forever, but I mean, it was really very unpleasant. Because it makes you just feel cold. It was a bizarre. I can't remember the name of the drug now, but it was essential to stop the bleeding, stop the hemorrhage. So they estimated it was basically. It was classified as a hemorrhage, meaning excessive blood loss. Although it wasn't so much that she needed
seriously
any blood transfusion. Thank heavens, but that was for me that was what I was most worried about. Then you started requiring blood transfusion, but there wasn't. You didn't need a blood transfusion, right?
No, I didn't. I didn't get that.
So it was I suppose a hemorrhage more on the minor side, but it was certainly. They acted fast to stop it, which obviously you would do because you don't know how. Yeah.
So after they stopped the blood, then were you also flying out at the same time?
No, I wasn't going anywhere.
Okay. Were you going somewhere?
No, I mean, 1 or 2 weeks later.
Okay.
But not immediately, no.
So then we go home. After being discharged now. The baby is fine. The bleeding has been stopped. And then...
Oh, not 1 or 2. We had to go in maybe...
Did you have to fly out?
3 or 4 days after that, yeah.
Yeah, 3 or 4 days after then we left the hospital to go home because everything was fine then. And then after that, then came now the products of conception left
again
inside.
There was more. Yeah, there was more bleeding.
So apparently when we got when we got home there was still bleeding, and this time round the smell of the blood coming out was different, was not normal.
And it was darker when you showed me those photos.
So my husband took some photos, and we decided to consult widely with our relatives who are also in the same field.
Yeah.
I remember one of them telling us this was not good. We need to go back to the hospital and see a specialist or call.
Yeah.
And at that particular time, I was just I've kind of escaped. I'm kind of back home. I mean, what is happening? And then we decided to go back to the hospital. And when we went back to the hospital, they said there was the products of conception left inside. So meaning
still something is
the cord. I don't know if I could call it I don't know what exactly was left inside. I wouldn't say the cord because in the report they said the cord was complete.
Well, something got missed, somehow.
But something was left inside. So that the thing that was left inside, hata ana ngoja live ile aende kwa DM ya via social media. Oh, okay. Nancy, hata tungoje kama takuja live ya Kiki. So then there was something left, right?
Yeah. So
in the in the tummy.
Yeah, I mean, so I was the issue then is the risk of sepsis, infection.
Yeah.
Like getting, eventually going into the blood and around your whole system. So, which is another like major red flag for, maternal maternal illness, and also one cause of maternal deaths.
Yeah.
So again, I was a bit when I just said, look, you better go back. I mean, I was already in London at that point, and I was just
again guys, our relationship in Kenya was long distance relationship.
Kind of horror at that. I mean, when I saw those photos, I just, oh God, no. What is going on? And yeah, so you went back. What happened then? The first time you went back?
So then we went back. The first time I was given drip. Then they said that the drip was together with oxytocin. That was going
to... The first time? Because at one point, they remember you only got tablets.
No, the first time they gave me tablets. They gave me something to put under my...
so the antibiotic in tablet form. Yeah?
It was something to help with cleaning out. But I had to put it under my tongue. My memory is so bad.
The name of that drug too. Yeah, it's to try and basically clean out the uterus again.
Yeah.
And
then
you did that, go home?
And then I went back home for recovery, and they said the process takes care of itself naturally. And then after I went back home, waited, it was still coming out. And it was still like having a smell to it. So then we decided to call back again the hospital, and they said, come back again. So then we went back. And this time also I'm having like different variations of chills and fever all through.
Yeah.
So then we decided to go back again.
Sign,
yeah. Because we decided to go back again, and then they decided now we're going to have a drip version of the same medicine that I was given.
Really? Okay.
And then I was put in a drip, and then was not admitted though. So I just stayed in the hospital with the baby on the private. There's a private room they have, like when you go E&E, and then they have like a private area you can wait if you have a baby, or if like you have a special case that you cannot be mixed up with other people. So I was waiting there. And then after that happened, then we went back home. 2 days down the line, I'm still having the same problem.
So when did you get the antibiotics in the pill form? It was a Friday or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you didn't see that the obstetrician wasn't available, right?
Yeah. And if you know, guys, the problem with Aga Khan, much as they're the good hospital, during the weekends, you don't get to see the people who are like, you don't get to see the professional themselves. I don't know if time have changed now, like things have really changed, but
the
experienced doctors, you only get to meet.
Yeah.
I don't know if I just don't know how their system works. And I don't also want to say something that I'm not sure about.
But anyway, yeah. So then you went home again, and it's still...
They told us to wait until Monday for the person who specializes in that area to come and see me on that day.
But we couldn't wait.
So then on Monday,
wasn't the Saturday?
We couldn't wait until Monday.
And you were still, I remember calling you, and you were still feeling these chills and things, like nothing had changed.
Yeah. So
and
then
I just said, no, go back in.
So when I went,
I even called ahead, I think, to them.
Yeah.
I was like calling them from London, like Aga Khan directly, just explaining the situation. Also, because, and that's. Yes, I remember at one point we did get an obstetrician, but wasn't that before this? Because he said he was going to, they were going to do like a manual extraction. But I was thinking, well, how do you do that? Because the cervix is already shut. You can't get in. And I was thinking to myself, anyway. And in the end, that's when they gave you the drug. I think in the end, wasn't it? Remember, I spoke to an Indian. It was the South Asian guy.
You remember when you're in London? I had to go to the private wing of Aga Khan, the Doctor's Plaza, and saw another doctor.
Yeah, but that was later, once all these other options had failed, right?
Yeah.
I think.
So then we started another line of...
because she was the doctor you had seen at antenatal, I think. Yes, that lady.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a... I mean, it wasn't the best one of the things that comes up is like patient follow-up. This is one of the things that professionally, patient, what do you call it? Case management. I mean, they clearly didn't have like an integrated system for at-risk postpartum, meaning after birth scenarios, which is weird because that's, like I said, one of the key time periods of the whole pregnancy, childbirth process when women do get ill and die, right? So I was a bit, like, really, guys, no joined up, like, particularly when it's one of your patients too. So you can't really, if you're in a hospital and you're looking at outcomes, if you're not really following people, especially if they're having a problem, then you can't really, gauge the quality of your care. Because, I mean, the quality of care isn't just about technically, can you do this? Can the doctor do this procedure? It's about the communication between the different departments. The A&E, if somebody comes in, are they going to talk to the, obstetric people properly? And if you call one, and that was, to me, was a massive gap, was the communications aspect. So, which is how you run a hospital. I mean, it's no good having the best doctors in the world if nobody knows where the patients are, right? So I was a bit like, guys, really, really, really,
There's a conversation happening here about JKIA Java. It's a landmark. Do you love JKIA Java?
I've been there.
And then alafu umeva simple kabisa. Okay. I don't understand what conversation was happening here.
Landmark.
Then unashika simu ya.
There's two. There's one outside and one inside.
I just landed. I'm waiting for my taxi driver na. Anakunywa maji moto. Someone is waiting for the taxi driver, and I don't know what conversation was happening
here. It's so weird
here.
to think. It's been past that place a million times.
Okay.
It's funny to think.
Let's see what comment comes in later.
Anyway, so finally, I mean, I can't remember.
We ended up going to the.
Well, you went back to A&E and
they
put you on liquid antibiotics.
Yeah.
And that thing was stubborn because at that point, like she was symptomatic, as one of the doctors said. And so you went on one. You're with Frida was there, right? I think Frida.
Yeah, with Frida.
Yeah, and so you had one.
And also my cousins.
Yeah, one. What do you call it? Course of the antibiotics, intravenous.
Yeah.
And then you got up to pay, and then the damn thing started coming back again.
Yeah.
I mean, so they went for one, another line. Huh?
Yeah.
Another course, and finally that finished it off, didn't it?
Yeah.
And you were even given some tablets to follow, right? Also after that, weren't you? Like tablet ones. I think after
I came from the Aga Khan General side, and then I went to the Doctor's Plaza. That's when we got the treatment that finally just cleaned everything up, because the lady said, I don't know if she gave me I can't remember what exactly.
It wouldn't be oxytocin, but they just need to kill that infection.
I don't know what exactly it was. But she gave me some medicines and antibiotics, and we went home and I was taking that, and then that kind of just.
Yeah, that was a stubborn, nasty one. I mean, that really that gave me the willies. I mean, Lord have mercy. So, I mean, again, another takeaway. I mean, if you get, if there's a lady with that kind of thing, fever, chills, whatever. I mean, postpartum and the kind of blood, loss and all that kind of fiddle. Even like I said, days afterwards. Yeah. I mean, don't faff about. Meaning, don't waste any time. Get in there fast. And if you if they're looking a bit like, what's the word? I'm trying to find a nice way to put it, but frankly, disorganized, keep pushing them, because that's, like I said, it's like communication.
I think for us, the reason
it's no good to have the best doctors in the world if they don't know what's going, if they're not being told where the patients are.
Yeah.
So, keep pushing, and, don't assume it's everybody speaking to each other as they, should be.
Yeah.
So, like at one point it was me. I was making from London, making the clinical call on Nelly, saying, "No, you go back in."
Yeah.
Like we just said, let it wait. She might not be here, and it's because of also, again, my personal knowledge on the topic. So, it's you see how it's sort of like this ping pong. The ball is like in different courts. It ends up in your court again, and it's back to their court, and then some other court, and you got to be watching where it's even when it's in their court. But when it comes back to your court, I mean, don't. Like if there's any question, right? If you're in doubt at all, and what's the word? One of these are technical terms. use a low suspicion of like something being wrong. Like, don't wait until it's like totally, person looks like they're half dead. I mean, if you think you even see something unusual, go back. Because remember, there's time is the killer then.
My brother is right here. So, hey, Jimmy, how are you doing?
It's Jimmy. Okay.
Yeah, Jimmy's right here. I was so surprised. Wow. I love you. I love you so much, Jimmy. Really, really do appreciate your support as well. Mr. Harma and Nelly deserves each other. So beautiful. Mimi Joka ningekuwa nisharushwa nje kitambo. I think I'm mostly just so grateful to have like him as my backup plan, because if I'm going into delivery or like and you guys, do you see how this is where I get like my deep skin tone. Do you see how my brother is so fine right here? Do you see how fine the melanin has hit? Anyway, so like I was saying, I think it's always important. Like sometimes we pay into delivery without knowing what exactly. We just know that the doctors are going to do their job, but it's very important that we have to actually wash hands. We're washing hands, we're sanitizing. Okay, so it's very important to know that the doctors are always going to do their job, but you always also have to, especially this, for me, this is a call like to all the men, Kina Zimi, everyone who's here, Kina Tony, if you ever have a girl going to labor and delivery, always make sure that you are on the forefront also with her, because the many things that happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to have another extra pair of eyes, and don't feel sort of intimidated by the medical professionals. I mean, I think it's also a lot of people feel intimidated about them, but I mean, from just some of them are more chatty, meaning more communicative than others. I suppose it's just human nature. Everybody's different, but I mean, if you're not getting a clear picture from the medic in front of you, then it's your right to ask, because they have these patient charters. I mean, they're very, also at Aga Khan, I mean, they state that you are their code of conduct or whatever is that they must give you proper and complete information.
Yeah.
So if you feel like you're not getting it, then just ask. And the medics get tired too. I mean, they're doing a very tough job. So someone could just be absolutely tired out, and they just aren't communicating well. So don't feel
can you find my,
and it's not just Kenya. I mean, I've noticed this all across the world. I mean, UK, everywhere. I mean, now and then there's some unfortunate obstetric mess ups in UK, for example. I mean, I've heard about. So it's not I'm not just sort of putting a critical eye on Kenya. I mean, it can happen. I mean, it can happen anywhere. It's more likely in some places than others.
In the UK,
but I mean, you do hear some quite shocking. I mean, not all the time, but the point is, it has happened. Some me, I think crazy oversights or lack of sufficient care. I mean, literally, paying attention.
And I think, like, for me, especially when I'm talking about this, wait a minute, I wanted to emphasize on the fact that many women I've seen abroad, Black women are always complaining. And this starts from Serena Williams complaining about the same thing. And many other women saying that the Black women are overlooked for their sustainability of pain. And when they say something is not wrong, they're not believed at first hand.
Yeah, I don't really understand that one. But,
to young mothers, upcoming mothers like Kiki, who will in future become mothers, not now, in future, or when the baby comes, or when the pregnancy comes, you need to look out for things like those, because you need the doctor to understand what you're saying and also be willing to understand and act.
Yeah.
You understand? Because there's this misconception that Black people are able to bear pain, but then it's not like bearing pain in a good level. You understand? It's like someone just not listening. And another point I wanted to put out on this day, as we are getting closer to Mother's Day, is the fact that much as you pay into having like your baby delivered in the best facility, and the you pay, like, you go to the most expensive place, it doesn't matter like whether it's cheap or expensive, but at the end of the day, the person delivering needs to have another person. Oh wow, Terry, thank you so very much. Thank you, really appreciate this. So another thing I wanted to point is, if you're having your delivery in one of good hospitals in Nairobi or whatever part of the world, make sure that the person who you're always going to be in the hospital with, is always on the look on anything that can always go
I think
wrong.
you definitely shouldn't go alone, I think.
You should have someone having your back to like see what's happening and what's not happening. So I think it's important because and also do your research so that what you know the signs to look out for, things that are not safe, things that are safe, things that are risking your life, things that are worth having, things that are worth accepting. And always don't be afraid of asking questions, because when you ask questions, you get answers all the time. Zamu says, yes, it happens here in the USA. That's, I think, something that we all can agree with. So it's really important that we, especially as Black women, know how to communicate and have people who understand us to be able to communicate for us when we're not able to communicate. Sis Mother's Day yetu ilipita, ilikuwa 11, ilikuwa 14. No, thank you. That's so kind of you, but I'm not wanting bread now. Okay. Adrian is always so kind. We are just going into Mother's Day, and so we are not yet there. So thank you so much, guys. For everyone who's watching here, there's a story, the 35 of us, I wanted to bring to your attention. And if you have an Instagram account, there's a little child by the name of Baby Ayah. Or if you go and type at Little Ayah, there's a story about her on Instagram, and her mom is a mom just like me. And just after sharing with you all of this story, I hope that you understand how much it takes to bring a child, or you can relate with me in many other ways, if not for labor or the challenges that people go through during giving birth and things like those, including the screaming. But I wanted to bring to your attention the story about Little Ayah, whose mom is asking for all of our help, whichever help you can give, whether it's raising awareness. She has SMA, and her mom has been journaling down like her journey, and she's left with 8 months to get her vaccine.
We should explain it's
the muscular.
It's a degenerative. It's a
Go watch out.
It's a degenerative muscle disease, so can one of these congenital, basically affecting like a birth defect. So it's degenerative. So she's achieved, many of her milestones for her age up to a certain point, but then it started going backwards, and so that's a sign of that's what alerted the parents, and then therefore they got diagnosed. So it's and it's like some of these degenerative illnesses. I'm just thinking, so I'm not sleeping. You need there's like a window, because it depends. Sometimes if there's a cure, there isn't a cure. Sometimes they have drugs which can slow down the degeneration
or help build up some protein.
They do various things. So basically it's a race against time. So she needs to get this particular drug over a certain period of time before her second birthday, or what is it?
I know she's left with 8 months.
8 months. So anyway. So it's a bit of it costs an awful lot of money, because they're in Denmark.
They're in Denmark, right? And the drug is sicknesses that have not.
But the drug isn't licensed there yet.
Yeah, and there are not many people who have the same sickness. So it means the production is very low, and whoever is producing the vaccine is selling it at a very expensive.
Well, the thing is, they can't get it, I guess, on the Danish medical system because it hasn't been licensed yet. So, but apparently they can get it privately, but then they have to pay. So this is the problem. I'm not entirely sure how it works if it hasn't been licensed. But so basically, it's a very, very tight timeline, and so it's an urgent case. Yeah.
So I think for me, it's called SMA. It's a spinal muscular atrophy, like Tony has said. And for me as a mom, I think having shared with you guys my story, my journey, to see another mom going through what she's going through right now breaks my heart to pieces, because carrying a baby and having a pregnancy and delivering your child is the best thing that can ever happen to any mom out there in the world. But having a child and not knowing that you're able to pay out for the cure they need is so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this for the very first time, Verakis, thank you for coming. If you're watching this for the very first time, and if you know of anyone, or if you have any sort of platform, share little Ayah's story, because you sharing it out and you giving your contribution and you using your platform to raise awareness can be the only thing that causes a breakthrough to little Ayah. It's only 8 months left. Time is ticking, and this is a mom just like us, just like you would be in future. She was born, and the mom realized that she had this SMA after some months during her development. And so I believe it takes a community to raise a child, not only a parent. And now is the time that she needs the community. So if we can all come together and if we can all come together and help little Ayah in any way we can. Her mom does a $2 Sunday. She also has started this hashtag where she does like hashtag, and then you're able to tag that person because she's trying to raise the awareness and also try to raise the funds. If you are able to do that for her, it's really, really important. I know Ayah will get the vaccine, but I know we are against time. So that's why I'm like, if we can all just talk about this, tag people that we can tag, talk about it to the public, wherever place you are. I get into live videos that I'm always these days joining live videos just to tag. And sometimes you even get blocked when you tag these big celebrities. But for me, at least, I know that you got the message, because at least you saw it to an extent of blocking. So I still tag anyway, because much as we are all contributing, we need other people also knowing about it, and who knows where the breakthrough comes through. So Tekla is saying Nyangia Chasasa, Nyangia unasalimiwa. And then Terry, I'll also try and DM you later. That's Tuneli. Let's please support her in all the way we can. I believe even if you're not a mom, even if you're not a dad right now, your time will come, or your time came, and we still can give Ayah's mom a chance to see her child grow up in a normal way. And time is ticking. Like it's every hour, every minute that brings her closer to 8 months deadline, and she's not able to receive the vaccine. So the many people, okay. The many people who get to know about the story, the many voices that get to know about this, the better for little Ayah. And I really, really appreciate if you guys can keep sharing, keep tagging, keep posting, and all of that good stuff, because it goes a long way into making sure that little Ayah lives a normal life, like Matthew here, who's saying ping pong and stuff like that. So I really, really do appreciate this. I really appreciate your time, you guys being here. Thank you so very much. The 32 of you and everyone who came through, thank you so much. Most especially Tony, I really, really appreciate you for sharing this out. And anyone else who shared through their stream, thank you so very much. Above all, Chinese Kiki, I really, really, really am grateful. I don't even have words. I don't even have words. I'm just... Hey, Pa. Nakas. I don't have any words to say how thankful I am, but I'm so grateful, and I thank you so very much. I pray she gets the vaccine. I hope the money can be raised, or a good Samaritan can sponsor her. Zamu, that's my hope as well. For me, I'm always like, even if I see, like yesterday there was Naomi live, and I stayed up to just keep tagging Ayah, because I'm just like, it could be my daughter. And I don't have much, but if I can use my time on the internet to be a spanner gang and see how get this vaccine, then I'd rather do that, because somehow it's raising the awareness. And so yeah, I hope that you guys had fun. I really had fun being here with you guys. Thank you so very much, Zamu, Kinatekla, Nyangia, Mary, Mary Manyeki, Barakis, Tekla Clay. I really do appreciate all of you so very much. Chinese Kiki, Kina Tony Nzomo, nawapenda sana sana, Kina Nancy Mwendo. All of you in the keyboard, I really do appreciate all of you so very much. I'm going to do a live tomorrow as well. And tomorrow, you guys see the topic, but it's about something that has been happening in Kenya. And there's also another one there's an incident that happened in the UK. And there's an incident that also happened in Kenya. So I'll try and see, because it's a story close to my heart. I'll try and see if I can come in, we can talk about that. And oh, did I pronounce it right? Oh, wow, thank you. Oh, Zamu, bless your heart. Thank you so very much. So once I set the time, whether tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, and I really appreciate all of you. If you still want to replay this video, I would really, really appreciate if you do so, because it's helping me to get to the 4,000 hours that I really do need. For those who are subscribing right now, thank you so very much. Pendo Scott says, God will see her. I believe God will give you what you're able to keep. And I believe that she's going to have a cure. I believe so. She's one woman I've seen moving mountains and swimming oceans for her daughter. And I believe that she's going to be able to get means of providing this vaccine for her daughter. Yeah, so thank you so very much for everyone who's been here. I'll have to watch from the beginning what I missed. Thank you so much, Verakis. Thank you so very much. So if you watch this and you still want to support me, you can replay the stream on your gadget. If you have to, the better, the more the better. And if you can also share with your friends, because you've watched it, and they can also watch, because they can learn a lot of things from that. I also appreciate that. And for everyone who's been supporting me, Daniel is now just calling out my name, I think, in another way. For everyone who's been supporting me, thank you guys so very much. Like, I really do appreciate all of you, like, so very much. So thank you guys so much. Salveke channel, you're not so late. We are closing up, but you can always replay this stream if it's possible, and that way you also still be supporting me. So I really, really appreciate you as you do that for me. Thank you so very much. So guys, I think we'll end the stream here. We have to get cooking, and I really appreciate the time I spent with you guys. I'll see you soon. Please have the notification bell on so you know when we're doing another live, or when I'm doing another live, because I'll be doing the other live. I need a breather. Yeah, I need to just breathe. So I might be doing the other live by myself or with my husband. I'm not sure, but I really, really always leave it playing. Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Mary. Really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much. She plays the stream while she's sleeping. Thank you so much. Wow. That's the same thing I do with like all our phones. When we're going to bed, I put my videos on the play mode, and then I just play them. See you soon. I love you guys so much. Natural Bless. Hey, girl. How you doing? So we're just ending the stream right here. Thank you guys for everyone who's been holding on and waiting for this time. I really, really do appreciate you guys. Beraki says, you are so sweet, Nelly, supporting you all the way, darling. Thank you so much, Beraki. Your support means an entire world to me. So I really, really do appreciate this. Again, I'll say big thank you to everyone who shared this, to everyone who shared, to everyone who's been here on the keyboard. You guys make the conversation, and I love you guys so very much. Some of you we meet on other live on the keyboard, and I just appreciate the love, you know, the love. If you've been on the keyboard, I've also been there. I know how we love each other, and I so much appreciate you guys. And thank you so much to Tony Nzomo for also sharing on this live stream. I really appreciate that. And mostly Chinese Kiki, thank you so very much. I really, really do appreciate this. And for everyone who also shared on Instagram, I really do appreciate all of your support, because this is the community. You all came together to support me, and I really, really am so grateful. So I'll see you guys in the next one. And I'll try and work on the post, and then have the notification bell on, and then you get to see when I am going live for the live video that I'm talking about, and then we can have a chat. Okay. So until the next one, kinazamushaya, oh God, mimi nawapenda, like nawapenda sana sana sana, nawapenda sana. So I'll see you guys later. Chinese Kiki has a live stream, so tutakutana huko hopefully. Nawapenda sana. Paper. Maracas Signua. In Finnish, we say, I love you so much.
Yeah.
I said, Mina, Maracas Signua.
Yeah, Maracas
Signua. Okay. In the if you don't speak Finnish, you say Minaracas Sinua. If you speak Finnish, you say Maracas Sinua. So we love you so very much, and thank you so very much.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Bye. You say bye?
I said bye.
And thank you for being here. Can you now get your cookie? Bye, guys.